Stella, look up. Look up. Say hi. Say hi. Stella. Time for some coffee. And I don't know where my cup is. I don't know where my cup is. So, mason jar it is again. All right. Let's get this coffee made. Try to make this B-roll as fast as I can. Cheers. So I'm super excited. I finally got my DJI stand yesterday alongside filters from Freewell. I got the 3-pack. So let's open this up and see what's going on. So you get a little booklet. All right, so they come in a little case like this. And in this one, you get the macro, wide angle, anamorphic. And then for NDs, you get ND8, ND32, ND128. I feel like the ND8 is really nice to use inside. Sometimes it is just a little bit too bright, and it's nice to have that option. By the way, before we start, we are on the Osmo Pocket 3, and we're on this journey for 1 month, making videos every single day on this thing to try to learn it. I'm gonna keep updating you guys daily on the things that I learned. So before we start the video, let's just go through the settings real quick. Today we are on auto white balance, normal profile mode, and I do have the 1/50th shutter rule so that we can keep this nice motion blur. That's the whole reason why I got these NDs, so that when I go outside or when bright areas, I don't get the jittery motion and everything stays pretty fluent and it feels very professional like my ZVE one. So right now we have the concept wide angle lens, which I absolutely love. The magnet on that thing is super strong. You let it go and it just boom, it snaps. It looks like it's not gonna move anywhere. It's stronger than the DJI filters. So I did return those. I just didn't like them. The quality of the filter was okay, but you get a lot more to get the Freewell. Or if you just want a wide angle lens because you plan to use your camera in full auto, go with the concept wide angle lens. It's like 22 bucks, I believe, on Amazon, and it's very awesome. So, oh, Stella, stop it. I'm making a video. Do you have to bother me every single time I put a video on? No, I don't want to kiss you right now. Okay. So where was I? Dang it. Right, what I want to test out first is the wide angle lens. I want to see how wide the Freewell lens is. So now I read on the little booklet that this thing comes with, for some reason you have to use the macro lens stacked with the wide angle lens in order to be able to use the wide angle lens. It'll look something like this. Can you focus? Yeah, you gotta stack them like this. So DJI did get that new update. I did confirm that they fixed they added exposure compensation, which crops in a little bit, not too much, and fixes that, like, you know, focus breathing problem. So I just did it right now when I showed you guys this. There's a little bit of focus breathing, but I guess it's not as bad as before, and it's a lot more smoother. And then the other thing is that they added a 2 times zoom without any quality loss. You can't use it though while you are recording. You have to zoom in first, then hit record, use that, and then stop recording, zoom out, which is pretty cool because it goes from the standard 20mm to like a 40mm. So you have to stack them, which honestly, it's about equivalent to the K&F. I just like the K&F is a solid piece. So if I was just going to use a wide angle lens, the K&F is the way to go. So let's do the first test, guys. And I'm gonna take off the K&F one and we're gonna see how wide it is. So here, let me put my coffee cup at the very edge of this frame, like right here. All right, that's where I framed it right at the very edge. So let's put this on and see what happens. All right, so look at that. That's the Osmo Pocket one. It's like, you don't even see the plant anymore. All right, let's try the Freewell. All right, so that's the Freewell wide angle lens. So it's not quite as wide as the concept. I mean, it's a little bit. You can see about half of the coffee cup where you could see the whole thing. So I can live with it. It's not that bad. I prefer wider, but that's how wide it is. Look at that. You can see half of my coffee cup in there. Let's go back to the concept one just one more time. Boom. Look at that. The whole entire cup is in the frame now. And you can see this door over here a little bit more too. So back to the Freewell. It's not too bad, not too bad. It's still wider than the DJI one. Do not get the DJI one if you're gonna be doing, if you want a wide angle lens, the DJI one is a joke. Like, shame on you, DJI. Like that, it doesn't even do anything. Like literally it's like here and then it's like, here it is. The concept one is, you can see the difference. And I will say too, the magnet on the concept one is very, very strong. This thing feels solid. It's a very nice quality lens, guys, for 22 bucks. Like, I wish that you had made stackable filters for this thing. That would have been, that would have killed Freewell just because of how wide this is and the build quality of this. I also do like that I don't have to stack a macro lens with this one. All right, enough complaining about that. We're gonna try the ND 32 and we're gonna go outside so we can keep this awesome motion blur, and we're gonna take a walk. I have a few points I wanna talk to you guys about. You can fit the Freewell wide angle lens plus macro and an ND filter on it on this thing right here, and you can put the Osmo Pocket and it'll stay in there. So that's pretty cool. All right, so before we go and test out this ND, I just learned that each profile has their own settings. Like, I thought that the settings were just the settings, and if you go to D-LOGM, that you were going to, those other settings were just gonna transfer. You're only switching the color profile, but you're not. Each profile has their own settings. So if you switch from normal profile mode to D-Log, you got to go to the white balance and all the other settings and change those too. It's like its own profile. So I just learned that yesterday. So if you're having problems going from normal to D-Log and all that stuff, they're all separately. Another thing I learned too by mistake was my audio. I've been using these DJI mic minis on my ZVE1 and I'm been getting amazing audio. There's a nice bass to it. It's just a nice, natural sound. And then for some weird reason, when I use them with the Osmo Pocket, which is DJI and DJI, you would have thought that it would have been a better sound quality or just work better because they're in the same system. For some reason, the audio was just kind of off on my past two videos when I was using this on the Osmo Pocket. And it just, when I was editing it, I felt like I was just missing some of the mid tones and the low tones. It was just very tinny sounding, or I don't know what the word to use this. It's just there was a lot of that low end missing from it. Honestly, almost sounded like my ECM mics, where it's just very high and there's no full sound, there's no fullness to it. Well, if you're looking at the DJI Osmo Pocket screen and you swipe to the left and you go to the pro settings, on the top there's the mic settings. So if you go there, that's where you can turn down the gain. So I had the gain turned down to about -8, -10 is where I see that the levels are pretty good on this thing. But for some reason I'm like, man, why does this sound so weird? There's different settings for audio. You have to swipe down, go to settings, and then you go to wireless mic, and then you'll find the rest of the settings there. I don't know why there's two different settings there. Maybe the gain is something that we need to access quickly, so they made it just on the left menu or whatever over here on this side. The low cut filter was on, and that made a lot of sense now why my audio was missing all of that low end that I actually like. I think it's on by default. I also think noise reduction is on by default. So I turned all that stuff off. So make sure you check your settings when linking your DJI Mic 2 or DJI Mic Mini or whatever microphone. Go through the settings and make sure that everything's exactly how you want it. So that was just like a little big learning curve there. I was like, oh wow, I didn't realize these things were on. I made the mistake so that you don't have to. Make sure you check your settings. They are individually per color profile. Today we're on the normal profile. Let's get going. Here we're a little bit overexposed. Let's see what this does. Boom. We're gonna go on a little walk. It's really nice. It's 40 degrees today, but I know that, ooh, are we a little overexposed? Let me put this to -7. Hold on, guys. All right, guys, I switched it to -7. which usually outside I do keep the Osmo Pocket at -7 for exposure. I can't really see the screen too much. It looks like I'm kind of exposed. I should be able to recover the rest. The ND64 seems like the one that people tend to use quite a bit, but I think it was a little too strong in certain situations where I feel like I'm still overexposed a little bit. This guy looks pretty good in the back. And you know, this lens doesn't stick out so much. The ND filters are super, super thin, so you do have to be very careful when you're switching them out. I'm still on the journey of trying to figure out what D-LOGM is really doing because it's kind of weird. It's not really log. It grades way different than D-Log. I've graded D-Log before, and that one works just like S-Log3 and C-Log2 and all the other log profiles that I messed with. I can get those to look however I want them to look like, and I'm very happy with the results. But D-LOGM is just, it's just a little weird. I feel like I'm very close. I'm probably a few days from getting to where I need to be with this camera in order for me to fully use it, and I'm really confident that I'm gonna get there. If you're going to shoot auto, this thing has to be on the normal profile because with D-LOGM, it's not doing a good job with D-LOGM. I don't know if it's because it can't read like contrast or something, and every time you do a backlit shot like this, it just like completely underexposes me, like really bad. And I'll show you an example here from the other day when I was from my previous video actually, and I've just been testing it, and it just doesn't expose correctly with the it like doesn't choose the right values. I tried messing with the exposure compensation, and it still just doesn't get the right look that I want, and it doesn't expose it correctly. So I feel like D-LOGM is meant to be used in full manual. Like honestly, I that's just my own opinion. Don't get crazy. And I'm talking about manual exposure, like manual ISO, manual white balance, manual everything. You have to have full control when shooting D-LOGM, and then I do believe you can get better results than normal profile, but not that much better. Or if you're going to be shooting everything in manual with this camera, which is not really meant to do that. I mean, you can do it, but it's not really meant for that. It wasn't designed for that. This was supposed to be like quick, pop it open, hit record, get some really nice video, and capture the moments. And it does really, really great at that. It's very compact, it's very light. I'm not even tired right now. I switched it over to this arm to get a different angle. That way you guys can get this part. But this is a very high contrast situation, so we're in normal profile mode. And you guys let me know what you think about the coloring and the contrast and everything like that. Again, we're on the ND32. We got the Freewell wide angle lens, which is, it's wide. I'm really getting to the point where I'm just liking the color straight out of the normal profile. It says on the description there that it's 10-bit, so I don't know what that means. I don't know why they would even put that there. But I think D-LOGM, honestly, is the same thing as the normal profile, but it's just gray. It's gray. They just took the color off. I wonder if they just desaturated the normal profile, honestly, or something. I don't know. One interesting thing that I tried yesterday, and you guys should try it too. Film in D-LOGM. Get a nice scene, expose it correctly, everything. And then don't use conversion LUTs. Just add saturation by yourself on the first layer and contrast, and you're gonna get a way better picture than converting it with the LUT. I'm leaning towards normal profile mode, auto ISO, 50 to 3200, 1/50th to keep the motion blur with NDs and this wide angle lens. And then I'm just gonna grade over it. When I'm outside, I do keep this thing at -7. Check out the video. I think it was, I don't know if it was the video from yesterday or the day before where I took a walk on full auto, and compare it to this one. Compare the motion blur, and you guys let me know what you guys like. But I feel like the motion blur is very important to have. We're gonna go outside and test out the ND 128. Come on, Stella. Woo! It's bright out here. It's bright. All right, here we go. Boom. All right, guys, what do you think about this? Let me move my hat so that way you can see my face. I think this is the way to go. 128. And we are at -7, everything auto, normal profile mode. This is exposing really nice. I don't know, it might be a little bit underexposed, but can't really see my eyes, but I don't know, man. Let's see what that background looks like. Let's walk around. This is Freewell ND. You know, I just ordered the 64. I might cancel it because I thought the 32 was not enough. I did have to bring down quite a bit. I had to bring down the exposure quite a bit. Holy cow, it's so muddy out here. Everything heated up. It's like 50 degrees out here right now, so everything melted, which is pretty good. No more snow, and I can actually come outside, and I'm just getting some sunlight, guys. But the looks like 128 might be what I need for this. Here's a backlit. We're on the wide angle lens. The auto features to this camera just work very well on the normal profile. For some weird reason on D-Log, it's just all over the place. It doesn't know what my face is, especially when you get shots like this where you like backlit. It like doesn't know what to expose for. So you tend to be underexposed a lot of the times. It's pretty windy out here, so hopefully the audio is pretty good. I did turn on the clipping option for audio because I noticed the audio was a little bit hot when I was walking around. It could have been because I was talking a little bit loud. I was running out of breath, man. I don't work out, so sorry if you see me kind of struggling there, because I really was. Especially on the way back home, it's kind of like uphill, so. All right, guys, I'm gonna head back in, edit this video so I can post it. I got a lot of work, and then I gotta prep for my shoot. I'm gonna keep vlogging with this throughout the day, and then maybe I'll do another part video tomorrow.